Good morning students, today we will discuss a new novel and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The full title of the novel is Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. It's a gothic novel, horror and science fiction. So actually what happens was that there is a sort of competition going on among Lord Byron, P.B. Shelley and Mary Shelley. So the question was who would write the best novel. So this novel Frankenstein come out of competition that these writers begin with one another. Alright, so the novel has been asked a lot of time in the past, so do not forget to go through the summary and remember the characters in order to prepare this work for competitive examination point of view. Okay, now without any further delay, let's quickly get on to the summary. So the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley starts with the captain of the ship named Robert Walton, who is heading the ship along with his crew members to the North Pole. He is communicating with his sister through letters, and in his letters he talks about the beauty of countries at North Pole, such as icebergs, the brutality of the sea and the changing of weather. Now here the last letter is important for us because in that letter he speaks of a meeting with a strange man named Victor Frankenstein whom he rescued. Frankenstein comes to the ship and he narrates the story, and that is all mentioned in the letter 4 of Robert Walton. So you can say that Robert Walton is a sort of narrator of this novel Frankenstein. Okay, so we have Victor Frankenstein who had been very curious about everything, and this curiosity has changed his destiny completely. Victor Frankenstein loves science a lot and wants to explore more and more of it, and from here everything changes. So now let's begin from the beginning. The story begins with the childhood of Victor Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein tells about his family members. His family had adopted a 5-year girl named Elizabeth. She became a very close friend of Frankenstein. They read poetries and hidden laws of nature. And when both of them reaches adulthood, they pleaded to marry each other. So while Frankenstein was growing, he got much inclined towards natural philosophy. He read all the major thinkers, and further he shifted his liking towards science and mathematics. He even went to Germany to complete his studies. In Germany, he read about life and death, and here he starts experimenting to put life in the dead people. He studied and researched for many years, trying to find a way to make the dead people alive. He started joining, creating objects and electrifying them. Finally, he creates a creature. This creature was a dead person, and now he is electrified into a living human being. Actually, he does not look like a human being, but a sort of a big monster. On looking at the face of this big monster, he stopped his experiment in the middle and left it. Victor does not want to create such creature, so he left the experiment and went to his friend Henry to read and feel something new, staying away from all the natural philosophy and science. So now as the novel moves forward, there comes the news that the younger brother of Frankenstein is murdered. The name of the younger brother was Williams, and Frankenstein went to the place where William was murdered. Victor Frankenstein found traces of that monster on the place where William was murdered. He understood that the big monster is still alive and he had only murdered his brother. On returning home, he finds that the servant of the house was accused of murder and Frankenstein failed to help her. He was depressed and in great fear. Now, as the months and weeks passes by, Frankenstein encountered the monster on the mountains. The monster get into talk with Frankenstein and told him that this world is so cruel. He says, "I was very happy that I am reborn again, but you have made me so ugly that people ridicule me. I was so gentle to everyone, but no one understood me. Everyone showed me their back, no food, no shelter, no one to talk, no one to love." And that's how the monster became so cruel that he started searching for Victor Frankenstein. Monster killed his brother Williams so that Frankenstein returned home and he could talk to him. And now the monster has a request. He requested him to make a female monster so that he could make love and talk with someone which looked like him. Frankenstein agreed. He again started his work of creating a girl for the monster, but all of a sudden he realized that these monsters will love one another and reproduce more and more monsters. The whole humanity will be under threat by the devil's community. So he left his experiment in between. On listening to this, the monster warned Victor Frankenstein that now he has to suffer a lot in his life. Monster went on to take the revenge from Victor Frankenstein. He kills his friend Henry and then blamed the death of Henry on Frankenstein. Then he kills Elizabeth on the day of the marriage between Victor Frankenstein and Elizabeth. As Victor's fathers find that Elizabeth is dead, he is also unable to digest this news. He also dies. Each and every family member got murdered by the monster, and Victor is very angry with all this, and he began his journey to find the monster and kill him. He roams here and there to find him, but there is no use. He failed to find anyone, and finally he came across a ship where he met Walton, the narrator of the story. The same Robert Walton who is writing the letters to her sister. So now here in the ship, Victor Frankenstein is very ill that he dies soon after. Then the monster arrived on the place, and he also found that Victor Frankenstein is died now. Monster cried over the death of Victor Frankenstein and at last killed himself. And with this, we come to the end of this short novel, or you can say novella, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I hope you found the video worth your time. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe the channel for more such updates. Also, let me know in the comment section below if there is any work you want me to discuss here on Limitless Literature. So that's it for this video. Thank you.